60% of Americans lie awake tonight. Not because they want to, because something broke, and the pill industry built a billion-dollar empire on that broken sleep. She stopped taking sleeping pills 3 years ago. Not because a doctor told her to, because she found something older. Something free. One bottle costs $180 a month. Creates dependency in 2 weeks. And when do you stop? The insomnia comes back worse. This recipe is from 1887. A pioneer homesteader wrote it down so her grandchildren would never suffer sleepless nights. It costs less than $1 to make. The sleep industry is worth $28 billion. Every dollar they make depends on you not knowing what grows in your backyard. Before 1950, sleeping pills didn't exist. Pioneers slept deeply using 3 herbs that grew wild outside their doors. The knowledge was common. Until it wasn't. Chamomile. Valerian root. Passion flower. 3 words the pharmaceutical industry prays you never take seriously. Everything you need for the best sleep of your life is already growing. You just need to know where to look. She harvests every morning before the sun fully rises. That's when the essential oils are most concentrated. That's when the medicine is stronger. Most people buy chamomile from a bag that's been sitting in a warehouse for 8 months. That's not medicine. That's dust. Chamomile contains apigenin, a compound that binds directly to the GABA receptors in your brain. The same receptors that sleeping pills hijack. Except this one is free. Valerian root has been used for sleep since ancient Rome. The Romans called it all heal. Big Pharma's answer? Charge you $200 a month for a synthetic version of the same thing. The smell is strong, earthy, almost medicinal. When she first smelled it, she knew this wasn't a supplement. This was real medicine. Passion flower was prescribed by American doctors until 1978. Then the FDA reclassified it. Not because it stopped working. Because it couldn't be patented. You only need 7 passion flower leaves per cup. That's it. 7 leaves that cost nothing, if you grow them yourself. The harvest is done in 12 minutes. She's back in her kitchen before most people have hit snooze for the 3rd time. This kitchen hasn't changed much since her grandmother used it. And that's exactly the point. 2 teaspoons of chamomile. 1 of valerian. 1 of passion flower. That's the formula. The one they don't want printed on any label. Never boil the herbs. Boiling destroys the apigenin. 170 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the pioneer's secret that modern tea instructions always get wrong. Watch what happens in the first 30 seconds. The water turns gold. That's the apigenin releasing. That's the sleep compound activating. Pioneers dried their blends in paper bags labeled with the moon phase at harvest. They believed lunar cycles affected potency. Modern science is starting to agree. 12 minutes. Not 10. Not 15. 12. The pioneers timed it by the length of a morning prayer. We time it by science. Same result. Strain it through natural cloth. Not metal. Metal interacts with the tannins in valerian and weakens the sedative effect. This is something the tea bag industry never tells you. She makes 6 jars on Sunday. 1 for every evening. By Friday, her neighbors are asking what her secret is. No ingredient list longer than 3 words. No warning labels. No dependency warnings. Just 3 words that are older than this country. Within 60 minutes of drinking, the apigenin binds to the GABA receptor. Anxiety quiets. The nervous system shifts from fight or flight to rest and digest. The body remembers how to sleep. The first night she tried it, she fell asleep before 9. Woke up at 5:30. No grogginess. No dry mouth. No dependency hangover. In 1978, a double-blind study showed passion flower reduced sleep latency by 41%. The study was funded by a pharmaceutical company. It was never published. It was buried. This is what sleep is supposed to feel like. Not dragged out of it by an alarm. Not foggy for 3 hours. Just rested. 6 weeks of this protocol. She went from waking 4 times a night to sleeping 8 hours straight. Without a single prescription. Without a single dollar spent on pills. The ritual starts 2 hours before bed. Not 1 hour. 2. That's when the nervous system begins to listen. Light is the first medicine. Before you drink anything, you have to signal the brain that the day is over. Artificial light after sunset is the #1 destroyer of natural melatonin. The fourth ingredient the pioneers didn't know about but would have used if they had it: magnesium glycinate. The mineral 78% of Americans are deficient in. The one that tells every muscle in your body to let go. 4 ingredients. $2.12 per week at your local co-op. Or free, if you grow 3 of them yourself. This is the protocol that made sleeping pills obsolete in this kitchen. Her neighbor Bill had been on Ambien for 11 years. She gave him a jar. He called her the next morning at 6 a.m. She'd never heard him that woke up. Chamomile gets you into sleep. Valerian keeps you in deep sleep. Passionflower prevents you from waking up at 3 a.m. Each one protects a different phase. Together they cover the whole night. No screen after 8. No news. No scroll. Just this cup, this light, and the knowledge that in 60 minutes, your body will do what it was designed to do. 3 things she's grateful for. Written by hand. Not typed. The physical act of writing activates the prefrontal cortex and begins cortisol reduction. The pioneers called it counting blessings. Neuroscience calls it the same thing. While she sleeps, tomorrow's medicine is already drying. She never runs out. She never pays for it. The system feeds itself. The pill forces your brain to sleep. The infusion invites it. One creates dependency. The other restores the pathway that was always there. Week 3. Bill stopped the Ambien. Under his doctor's supervision. His doctor asked what he'd changed. Bill handed him a mason jar and a handwritten recipe. In 1978, a double-blind study showed passionflower reduced sleep latency by 41%. The study was funded by a pharmaceutical company. It was never published. It was buried. This is how knowledge survived for 200 years. Not in books. Not on websites. Hands in soil. One person to the next. In 18 months, 7 families in her county stopped buying sleeping pills entirely. Combined, they were spending $14,000 a year. Now they grow it. She doesn't sell the seeds. She gives them away. Because the goal was never money. The goal was sleep. And sleep should belong to everyone. One chamomile plant produces enough seeds for 40 more. In 3 years, you will never buy chamomile again. In 5 years, you're giving it away. 30 days of Ambien, $180. Dependency guaranteed. 30 days of this protocol, $2.12. With seeds you already have, 0. Her family doctor looked at her sleep tracking data after 6 weeks. 8 hours. 90% sleep efficiency. He asked what medication she was on. She showed him the jar. They suppressed it for 50 years. But they couldn't suppress the seeds. They couldn't suppress the knowledge passed hand to hand, garden to garden. This is what they couldn't patent. The best sleep of your life is not in a pharmacy. It's not behind a prescription pad. It's 12 feet from your back door, waiting in the soil. Grow it. Brew it. Sleep. And if this changed how you see your garden tonight, drop a comment below. Tell me which herb you're planting first. Subscribe, because next week we go deeper into what the pioneers knew about healing the gut at midnight, and it starts with one ingredient you already have in your kitchen.